Philly fanatic till the end of time, because I'm instilling that love into my own children right now so that I have an excuse to keep it going, like I need one. It's April, which means my favorite trees, Japanese maples, are officially in bloom. This one's fake, but you get it. We love them. And if you watched FAFO, you already know I'm the proud new dog mom to a German Shepherd puppy named not Bernadette. That's right. I said Jason might change it, and he did. So her name is Matilda, we think. Guys, I really cannot emphasize enough. Jason named Patricia. That would not have been my first choice. Also, he's agreed to the name Matilda. We will call her Maddie so that we have Maddie and Patty, I think. It was a very tough decision. If you watched the FAFO, you saw how we were going back and forth a little bit. And the other puppy that was being considered, she was lovely and sweet and laid back, but she was a little more aloof. She wanted to go and like have her business. And I was going to say, we already have that in Patty while she's whining outside of the door trying to get me to let her in. So if you can hear that. No, you can't. Patricia, it's a squirrel. Go chase it then. I will like to say Queen Emma was there. You know what? We're rolling with it. Queen Emma was there when we were having a full conversation in Italy about the potential dog names. And Broomhilda was a serious contender. And I'm not saying that to be funny. Jason dead ass thought we were going to name a dog Broomhilda. I want people to remember that the next time they come at me about how we named our 4 children. Because do you see what I'm working with? Anyway, we're very excited. Elliot is thrilled. Benny is also excited. Wyatt couldn't care less. And Finny has no fucking clue what's happening. So there's that. She's 1 though, so maybe soon she'll know what's happening. Coming up on today's episode, I'm bringing back Ask Me Some Things to answer some of the real ones' most burning questions for me. And shocker, once again, several of you reminded me why we call this segment Ask Me Some Things, because you're inappropriate. Some of those question, guys. We for real? After that, I'm going to be joined by a friend of mine. He's one of the funniest comedians ever, the host of the So True podcast, my future piping hot tea NFL broadcast partner. He's back, real ones. It's Caleb Heron. And as if it needs to be said again, no business. I love that we do chat, but no business. Before we get to all of that, let's start off with, can I be honest? This week, can I be honest about vacationing with 4 kids, 6 and under? Because I just got back from a trip to Hawaii. And I have a lot to say about it. Let me start off with the positives. No. Should we end on a positive note? Let me be clear. My negatives aren't really negatives. They're just stating facts. I think. I truly believe that vacationing with children, anywhere you go, is just parenting in a different zip code. What I will tell you is having a child who is newly walking is a true pain in my butt because she wants to get down and explore. And she's 50-50 on whether or not she chooses to do that walking or she chooses to do that crawling. And you know what I don't want? Her crawling on the floor in public places. One of the things that I feel really fortunate about is that when you are vacationing, aka parenting in a different zip code, especially when you're going to a place with multiple bodies of water, you got to bring in the troops. And by that, I mean, we took family. We took family with us. We took 4 grandparents and one of my nieces, because I'll be damned if we're not in man-to-man coverage at any given moment. And also, none of our parents, all 4 grandparents, none of them had ever been to the islands that we went to. We were on Maui and we were on Lanai, and the girls love it. They love getting to take the people they love most with us. And it's fun. And we love that. So my biggest tip for vacationing, if you can, is hands. I love Hawaii. I love it so much. I love the culture. I love the food. I love the people. Everyone there that we interacted with was lovely. If it were closer, I would go back on a very regular basis. I will say that we caught the very tail end of the storms that Hawaii was experiencing. So I think maybe we could we could find a link to help support the Hawaiian people and communities that were impacted by the storms, because there was a significant amount of damage on certain islands. And I think that we can do good things around supporting them. That's it for Can I Be Honest? Next up, you guys sent in so many questions. I'm just going to get right into them with a brand new edition of Ask Me Some Things, because Ask Me Anything was far too open-ended. Ask Me Some Things is brought to you today by Tax Act. I think this goes without saying, but you can ask me some things. Just don't ask me about taxes. That's for Tax Act. Everybody knows that. And before I get into the questions I will answer, I just want to say to literally everybody, I know it usually comes from a good place. Not always. But quit asking me and my mother-in-law about upcoming nuptials. Nobody's fucking telling you anything. I don't have any details. I have no details. I have none. Look at that. That's how many details I have. None. Stop fucking asking me. Stop fucking asking my mother-in-law. TMZ. Fucking being creeps in the fucking airport. Ew. Here's the deal. Even if I did have any information, I'm not fucking telling you. That's private information. If I had it. Private information between family. So A and B, see your way out. You see what I did there? And while we're talking about A and B and C and letters, TMZ, SMA. How about that? For anyone who's confused about that, suck my ass. Can we get a graphic? Suck my ass. How about that? Great. Perfect. I feel like we appropriately nailed that. And I would just like to say, I recently went on Conversations with Cam, and Cam did it appropriately because she brought it up as a joke, because she's an intelligent woman who knows how ridiculous that question is. You get it? Silly. Cut it out. I mean, you can keep, here's the deal. You know what? Keep fucking asking. You know what my answer is going to be? I know nothing. Suck my ass. No, actually, my answer, I'm done with the answer. I know nothing. My new answer, suck my ass. I'm going to get a headband with LED lights and it's going to say, suck my ass. And I'm just going to have a little button. It's going to turn on the minute someone asks me about it. Suck my ass. Okay. Now that that's been addressed, I'm going to go through as many of these as I can rapid fire. First up from Real One, Kate Speaks. How did the girls feel about the Easter Bunny? Scary? No, the Easter Bunny is not scary because we do not go to do photos with the Easter Bunny. I know better than that. We are not a mascot family except for the Philly Fanatic. Swoop still is sometimes at a distance. Sometimes we're into him. Sometimes we're not. For those of you who don't know, Swoop is the Eagles' eagle mascot. We've seen him a million times at this point and we're still unsure. So I'm not taking my children to go do the crying experience at the Easter Bunny because quite honestly, I would cry if I had to smell that too. Sorry, Easter Bunnies. You know those suits don't smell good. Anyway, They enjoy the Easter Bunny because he leaves an Easter egg hunt. So, and Easter baskets, more importantly. So, that's it. They love him. I'm supposed to be doing these rapid fire. Queen Emma did say that, and now I've slowed down. Number 2, next question from Shields with love. Which of these would you do? Skydive, bungee jump, or paraglide, and why? None. Literally none. I have children. None. Also, none. I am not a thrill seeker. I don't go on roller coasters. I don't really care for rides. I could do without them. I would do a zip line. I have done the treetop course thing before. I enjoy that. I'm not necessarily afraid of heights. I'm 1,000,000 feet tall while I'm standing on the ground. If I were afraid of heights, that would be kind of sad. I'm good. Aggressively good. I will cheer you on from the ground. I'll hold your bag. Perfect. A great question here from Real One Tiffany. As a mom, what's your favorite mispronunciation in kids that you will never correct? Where do I start? Speed lemon is outstanding. That means speed limit. Benny Lippick. She loves a good Lippick. Aminals. I'm pretty sure Wyatt still says aminals. I'm not correcting her. She is 6 years old. I will not correct her. It is aminals until she decides to pronounce the word correctly. Breakfast. Breakfast is a great one. I just love their little voices. Ellie stopped saying for the longest time giraffe was gadraffy. It needs no explanation. It was so good. It was so good. Oh, Benny says Moderwellen. That's watermelon. Watermelon. Moderwellen. Modermelon, maybe? Either way, it's the cutest thing I've ever heard, and I'm not correcting it. And last one from Jessica Nelson 13. Does Big Ed agree with your use of the F word when it's used as in fuck the Cowboys? No. He's never going to agree with me saying the F word. While we were in Hawaii, I did say the F word in front of him a couple times. He was nice enough to pretend most of the times like he didn't hear it. Although I still, just by habit, immediately turned to him and said, sorry. Sorry. Because he's my dad and I respect him and I love him and I'm sorry that I say the F word so much. But only to him, not to anyone else. That's it for Ask Me Some Things, brought to you by Tax Act. Let's get them over with. All right, moving on. Let's get to Doom Scroll of the Week, brought to you by Allstate. First up, perhaps the most honest answer I've heard recently about why someone has not chosen to have kids. Queen Emma, the clip, please.
That's why I can't have kids anytime in the near future because I do not want to play hide and seek. I'm dead serious.
Grace, do you want to play hide and seek?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me that much.
I hate it. It's so boring. It's so boring.
That's why you're not having children?
It's like one of the reasons why I'm not ready to have kids yet. It's because I don't want to play hide and seek.
First of all, we love a queen that can recognize whether or not she's prepared to have children. This is a smart woman. But I'm going to tell you right now, she's doing it wrong. Anyone who doesn't like hide and seek is doing it wrong. And here's why. You grab a snack, grab a little drink, and you grab your phone. And then you hide. I'm not talking sit on the couch and put a blanket over your head. I'm not talking behind the chair that they're going to walk past and then they're going to turn their head and look at you and you can have this funny little moment of like, oh my gosh, there I am. I'm talking about you go into the pantry, you move something, you sit behind a stool, you reposition furniture, you go and hide in a locked bathroom. You do what you need to do. Doesn't know 6 to 12 months or sometimes 6 to 18 months is the most common timeline for making a full physical and emotional recovery after childbirth. And I'm giving you those stats based on research. I'm telling you personally, it has taken me 12 months all 4 times. All 4 times, I have not felt fully recovered until at least 12 months. For more context, the first 6 to 8 weeks, some women are still bleeding. That's crazy. With one of my children, I don't know which one it was. Because they're all different. One of them, I was still bleeding at 6 weeks. It was still as if I was having a period at 6 weeks postpartum. No. I've also talked openly about baby blues with Rebecca Fox last year, the therapist that we had on for our postpartum episode. And I do think that this time around, I didn't necessarily, sometimes I'm just sad. Sometimes I'm just sad postpartum. Sometimes it manifests in some anxious thoughts, but I'm anxious all the time. So is it that or is it this? You know what I mean? Postpartum anxiety sometimes manifests. Sometimes I just feel sad. With Finn, I think it was not as much as after I had Wyatt and after I had Benny. Those were the 2 postpartums where I really felt like I was experiencing more of those like deeply sad feelings and thoughts and more anxiety associated with themselves and caring for them, which I would equate to postpartum anxiety. But I am hyper aware of those things because I do want to make sure that if I'm out here talking about other people having the courage to speak up, ask for help, do those things, if you're going to say, you got to do it, right? So I really try my best to, if I need help, ask for help. So I like to be really tuned in on, is that helpful or unhelpful? And do I need to talk to someone about that? But for Finny, it didn't feel quite so heavy. So that was a positive. 4 babies in, my favorite way to get my pink back. And for those of you who don't know, get your pink back is a phrase that is referring to flamingos that when they are having offspring, that they actually become a duller color. And after they are done child rearing, we'll call it, they get their pink back or become more vibrant again in their feathers. This is a very appropriate phrase for motherhood. And I would say that 4 kids in, the way that you get your pink back is, I know that this is such a cliche answer, but taking time for yourself, literally in anything that you can do. Going, getting coffee by yourself, doing things that make you happy. If that's getting a massage, if that's getting your nails done, if that's going and sitting in a park to get fresh air, if that's going outside to, I don't know, go for a run, if it's a workout, if it's, I don't know, literally anything, whatever fills your cup, personally your cup, that is for you. We need to make sure that we allocate the time to do that for ourselves. You were someone before you had kids. You were an individual. You were a person before you had kids. And although you now have the greatest pleasure and honor of being a mom, that doesn't mean that you are not also still the person that you have always been. So I think it's really important to continue to do things for yourself and to try and do things for yourself in a way that does not impose a ton of mom guilt onto you, because that is, I think, the hardest part. That you could schedule a babysitter so you could go and get your nails done, or you could schedule a babysitter so you can go to the grocery store by yourself so you don't get yelled at by a child while you're doing your grocery shopping. You could schedule a babysitter to go and get a massage, but then is there guilt because you're like, why am I scheduling childcare for me to go do self-care? Or sometimes it's as simple as if it's not like during a time where your significant other or partner is tied up, sometimes there's guilt even associated with asking your partner for help, which is crazy sauce. You should not feel guilty about that. Those are typically the times where I'm like, hey, Jay, I'm going out. There are times where in the morning we'll look at each other and say, do you want coffee? And he'll say, yeah, do you want to go or do you want me to go? And it's sweet that he does that because I think he already knows the answer. And I will say, I'll go every time, nearly every single time. But you should take the time to do that for yourself. You should take the time to find something that's going to fill your cup. And you should tell the people around you, whether that's your spouse or significant other or a caregiver, a babysitter, a grandparent, you should tell them, hey, I would like to carve out this 2-hour slot. I'm going to get my hair done. And you do that and you don't feel bad about it because you should get to do that for yourself. So next time you think, I feel bad about going to get a massage, or I feel bad for going to get a coffee and sitting in the park quietly by myself, say, Kylie'd be mad at me for being mad at myself.